Welcome back to World Crisis Radio. Webster Tarpley here in Washington, D.C., celebrating the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's first inaugural, the greatest man of the 19th century, who reminded us that the essence of anarchy is secessionism. It is a despicable, treasonous, subversive, anti-American doctrine. In particular, the so-called Confederate States of America were all clients and puppets of the British Empire, of Lord Palmerston, Lord John Russell, the British Admiralty, acting to some degree through Skull and Bones. A lot of the people who led the secessions were Yale Skull and Bones graduates, so you put that together. Do Americans have economic rights? I say they do. This is a very important point. Next time you get an Austrian, a Chicago boy, a Friedmanite, a libertarian, do Americans have economic rights? They'll tell you no, you don't. No right to health care. We heard that. January 1944, Franklin D. Roosevelt, Economic Bill of Rights. If we had that, we wouldn't have Scott Walker. He would be a fossil. He would be consigned to the Madame Tussauds Chamber of Horrors, along with Jefferson Davis and Simon Legree, the slave driver. But now we need a program. We've got to somehow get back to the FDR Economic Bill of Rights. Get that into the Constitution. That's the goal. And of course, make sure that it's observed. The program you need is, first of all, no layoffs, no firings. No layoffs, no firings of state workers and of workers in the private sector. We have, this morning we're told that it's a great day in America because we have only 8.9% unemployment. This is, of course, due to the fact that a lot of people are giving up in despair. That's what's going on. That's Hilda Solis, the SEIU lady who Obama has ensconced now at the Department of Labor. She stayed up all night massaging the figures and cooking the figures to get down to 8.9% to give Obama a shot in the arm. 190,000 jobs have been added, we're told. I don't believe that, but assuming it's true, the reactionary Republicans, with their $61 billion in budget cuts, are likely to destroy 700,000. That is 3 times that many jobs. 700,000 jobs will be destroyed. According to Republican economist Mark Zandi, that's going to be the great contribution of the Tea Party. Bernanke says it's only 200,000 or 300,000. But anyway, whatever this progress was, I don't think it ever was, but it will be wiped out. And again, I think this is just people giving up in despair, the 99ers disappearing from the public statistics because they have no hope. Anyway, our demands: no layoffs, no firings. Secondly, hands off the social safety net. No cutting, no gutting. Don't touch Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. We want our unemployment benefits under the Social Security Act of 1935. That's all got to be fully funded, and fat cats will pay. We'll tell you how. Trade union rights for everybody. This has got to be meaningful. First of all, down with the Taft-Hartley Act. Back to the Wagner Act of 1935. You have the right to join a union, and no state, Mississippi, Wisconsin, Ohio, I don't care. No state is going to take away your right to join a union. But, of course, that then means that guys like Trumpka have got to put some oomph, and Andy Stern, if he's still around, those guys have got to put some resources into organizing the unorganized and organizing the unemployed. We need an unemployed union in this country. We need a retiree union, which would be more like a labor union than the silly AARP. We need a job program. We need Works Progress Administration. You might say 5 million jobs immediately. Your ultimate goal would have to be 30 million jobs. 30 million jobs gets you back to full employment for the first time since 1945. Do it the way Harry Hopkins did. Harry Hopkins put 5 million people back to work in about 6 to 8 weeks in that horrible winter of 33 to 34. Otherwise, a lot of people would have died. There were 17 million people facing destitution and starvation. Harry Hopkins knew what to do. He acted fast. And that kind of decisive action is what then went into Lend-Lease and winning World War II. That stuff goes together. How do you pay for all this? Wall Street sales tax. You've got to get the Wall Street sales tax into the public debate. Do something. Call in Take back the airwaves. Let's relaunch Operation Take Back the Airwaves. Call in to these reactionary parrots of the afternoon, the Limbaughs, the Hannitys, and all the rest of them. Glenn Beck, see what he has to say about the Wall Street sales tax. Tell me, Glenn, why is it that Wall Street pays no taxes? Goldman Sachs paid 2% corporate income tax on their profits in 2009. They pay absolutely zero for their high-frequency trading, flash trading, program trading, and all the rest of it. They pay zero. The state of New York has a securities transfer tax. They have a Wall Street sales tax. Hey, Cuomo, how come you're still remitting $15 to $20 billion a year to the Wall Street fat cats so they can get bigger bonuses and more Lear jets and more yachts and drive up the prices out in East Hampton even more when you're telling cops, firemen, teachers, sanitation workers, and others, librarians, they're going to take it on the chin? This cries out injustice. This stinks to high heaven. We want the Wall Street sales tax, 1% on all turnover, easy. Derivatives, stocks, bonds, all kinds of paper investment. You want to speculate on oil? All right, fine, if you must. We're taking 1% on every trade. So don't wait for them to report whether they earned money or lost money, but take it away from them. Now, let's look at the political climate. And I must say I'm just very happy to be able to review this poll. Here's a poll done for NBC, Wall Street Journal, carried out by Hart and McInturf, released this past week, taken in the last couple of days of February. So here's the general thesis. The reactionaries in this country that have gotten so much media attention, the Tea Partyites, the right-wing Republicans, the Roosevelt haters, the Glenn Beck fanatics, the Austrians, the Chicago boys, the Friedmanites, and all the rest of them, they are 20% tops. They are no more numerous than they ever were. They are the lunatic fringe. They're always there. The John Birch Society, you name it, it's them. They haven't gone away, but they haven't gotten any more numerous. And against them, we have a majority of 2/3 to 3/4 of the American people that are solidly pro-New Deal when you ask them about the specifics of policy. Let's just go through some of these. You're going to see this thing. It comes up again and again. 20%, give or take 1%, 2%, 3%, are the reactionaries. For example, the poll asks, is it necessary to cut Medicare? Yes, 18%. Those are the reactionaries. No, 54%. 27% don't know. So 54% says don't cut Medicare. 18% say cut it. You want to cut Social Security? Is that necessary? Yes, 22%. No, 49%. Majority. Don't know, 27%. Do you want to cut unemployment insurance? 55% say no. Now, should we cut Medicaid? These questions are phrased in a slightly different way. Is it acceptable to cut Medicaid? 67% say no, you can't cut the aid from states to poor people. 2/3 majority. Medicare, even worse for the fascists on this one, 76% say it is either somewhat unacceptable or totally unacceptable to cut Medicare. So 76% support Medicare. How about this? This goes for Obama and Walker. Is it acceptable to cut education K through 12? 77% say no. 22% say yes, it is. The same reactionary hardcore. Is it acceptable to cut Social Security? See, one was necessary, now it's acceptable. 77% say no, it's not acceptable to cut Social Security. 24% yes. You get the idea. The reactionaries are a tiny lunatic fringe minority. This is an America of the New Deal. The Franklin D. Roosevelt heritage beats Koch and the Cato Institute and the American Enterprise Institute and so forth. Back in a minute.